Hi, welcome to All Things Possible. We are Kris and Bill Barney, and we are excited to have you with us. We're going to be doing a 4-part series on conflict resolution tactics. This is part 1, and we're so excited to bring this to you.
Hey, and this is part of our weekly video blog series that we put out. But if you happen to find us on YouTube by doing a search on us, go ahead, look right here on the screen. It magically says, there we go. It magically tells you
www.allthingspossible.biz
where you can go to get more information about us. So we are just here to share a lot of information. We're going to make this a fairly short video. Let's get right into it.
Well, if you haven't joined our community, go to the allthingspossible.biz and join the community, be a part of this, and be able to get access to all the information that we put out there. But I want to talk to you about Diffuse. Diffuse that conflict resolution. So most conflicts are a result of a breakdown in communication. And as we go through this next 4 weeks, you're going to see different places where that really shows up. But before we start into all of that, I want to start with a story. Recently, this last week or so, we went to Lake Powell. And if you know anything about us at all, you know we love to go to Lake Powell.
We're always going to Lake Powell.
And as we get down there, we have a boat dock down there, so we get on the boat and we have cell service so we can receive texts and make a few phone calls before we put the boat in the water. But once we get the boat in the water, we're done. And until we come back and have the boat out of the water, we have no cell service. Once in a while we can hike to a spot, but it's very difficult. And as we got there that evening, and I got up the next morning to a very early morning text. And this text went into great detail of how a close person in our inner circle was very upset, was very hurt, and things that I had said had been very offensive. And this person gave quite a long text and a lot of detail. And I was crushed. I was really upset. There was no way for me to get messages out. I was going to try, right? Because we need to take that immediate action. So I tried to call, and all I got was a voicemail. So I left a very nice voicemail and said I was sorry for what I had done to offend or hurt this person, and that I cared about them deeply and I wanted to have a discussion, and just packaged it with love and said, I want to talk.
Well, and you said in that also, the last thing in the world I would ever want to do is hurt your feelings. And without even knowing everything that it was all about, she made sure and validated that.
Right. It was what I felt was like the most important thing I could do, knowing it was going to be 5 days minimum before I'd have an opportunity. So after trying very diligently, we finally said, we can't do anything else. So we left and went for several days. We went and parked the boat, and this really wore on me. It was very difficult. It was very hard. It hurt because I had never wanted to do this. I didn't want this person to feel this way. So I want to stop right there in the story and talk about, like, what can we do?
What do we do? Where do we start when we have a conflict? So this is the beginning, and the bullet points that we've identified here, just this message that Kris left is some of the key points to where do we start to resolve a conflict. The first thing is to begin immediately. Very often when somebody offends us, it's tempting to give them the silent treatment or procrastinate. It's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this, and put it off. The longer you put it off, the more it brews.
Well, the bigger it gets, the more defensive someone is about it. And even like for myself, the pain got bigger and bigger, and I started going into more and more of my own issues, my own feelings of why it would hurt me, right? So it just became a bigger situation for both my side and this other person's side. And that's what happens when you're in conflict in the workplace. When there's something going on, even if it's your boss, the first thing that you need to do is identify and take action immediately. Like, what could you do? Don't procrastinate it. Don't put it off, and don't go to the silent treatment. The silent treatment doesn't make anything better.
It just stews and brews. And so the next thing is apologize immediately for your part. Apologize that they were offended. It does not mean that you're automatically going to take blame for anything they throw at you.
And you're not saying I'm wrong.
But you
It's
just,
not
I'm
you're right,
sorry
I'm wrong.
you're
It's
hurt.
Just say, I'm sorry that I hurt you. Or I'm sorry that we have this difficulty going on.
Or that this problem arose. How can we resolve it? And so you apologize, and then declare your intentions. Your intentions are, say, I want to. You don't say, I want to prove you wrong because I know I'm right, even though we know we're right, right?
I want to show you how you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Declare your intention. I want to resolve this so that we can both move forward together in a positive way. And then
and I want to, I want to hear your side as much as my side. Like, let them know your intentions. Like, declare the intention of, I want to resolve this, and I want to talk about this. Now, sometimes you've heard that, we can agree to disagree. We don't have to believe the same things. We don't, we have different lifestyles, different life experiences,
and different points of view as to how we approach the same problem,
and different perspectives on where we might be with this conflict. And so we have to just say, this is what I want to do, and I want clarification from you as well as to clarify from my side.
And when you ask somebody for clarification, you don't interrupt them like I just did you. I thought you were at the end of the sentence, but I didn't give you
That's
room.
okay.
I didn't give you room to put a period in there.
And we'll always do that, right? We'll
Yeah.
always have times when we do that.
Okay, but let them talk. And if they say something that you need to change, don't interrupt them and say, no, that's not right. Make a mental note, and then when they are done talking, then say, I'd like some more information about this. When you said that, I felt like whatever. But let them talk, and then ask for a chance to tell your side and how you see things.
So I want to go back to this story, to finish this story for you. Because if you've gone through this process where you've apologized, you've taken action immediately, you've declared that you want to have a resolution and that you want to be able to work this out, and created that way for it to happen. Now for us, it had to be days later, right? And so I had to be really careful how I was reacting to this, because even after I had gotten home, I had not heard from this person and hadn't been able to get a hold of them. And so I still felt like, why is this still going on? Because this was a close inner circle person. And then we had our conversation. And when we were able to talk on the phone and talk about the things that had been offensive or the things that had been said that were taken out of context and that it wasn't meant that way at all, it was resolved easily.
It was a nothing thing.
Right.
And this person ended up apologizing to Kris. I'm so sorry. I know you're not like that. But part of this had started over a year ago with this person. And because they didn't communicate, Kris had no idea that they had thought she said something. So don't let things, take it to the source immediately.
Right. Taking it to the source can help you. So to diffuse this, I just want to review, because we want to keep this video short and we want to keep this momentum that we have in conflict resolution tactics so that you have new ammunition, right, for your tactics. So I want to refuse this. You want to diffuse immediately, right? That's take immediate action. Don't put it off.
Don't put it off. And the whole thing about diffuse, what is the word diffuse? To take something that's very big and kind of spread it out. A diffuser that does is the, aromas or something like that. It kind of spreads it out so it's not concentrated in one area. And when there's a conflict and stuff like that, there's a lot of hurt feelings. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of pain involved there when we have this conflict, and a lot of ego. And these things that we talked about will help diffuse it. Then you're not trying to excavate a mountain, you're trying to get rid of a molehill. Okay?
Right, and diffuse is also to take the heat out.
Yes.
Right, like if you have a firecracker and you're going to diffuse it, you're going to stop the heat. Like you're going to take that heat out of it.
Okay.
And we're going to agree to disagree on that, right? So when we diffuse something, we're going to take the heat of it out of it and create a way for it to be resolved.
So number one, as Kris said, don't take immediate action. Do take immediate action.
Right. Number two is going to be to diffuse it. You're going to apologize. Again, you're not taking blame. You're not doing the I'm right, you're wrong thing. You're just apologizing that they're upset. or that it's been upsetting to them and that you had something to do with that.
And then you're going to declare your positive intention.
That's right. You're going to declare what your intention is to resolve that. And number 3 is to listen.
With your ears. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
You're going to be listening to gain clarity, to see both sides of this, and to come to a resolution. You are not listening to find out what you're going to say next.
And it's okay to say, you know what, we both want the same thing. How about if I try this way and you try that way, and we'll try and support each other. It doesn't have to be a mind meld. It's just an agreement. You have to agree. And you can agree to do it your way, whatever that is, okay?
So remember, most conflicts are a result of a breakdown of communication. And the better we can communicate, the better we can resolve conflict. So this was part 1. Come back and watch part 2. Part 2 is going to be on accountability. So see you there.
Okay, bye-bye.